Good morning, dear students. I hope you all are doing fit and fine. Now, today we are going to start with a new chapter, chapter number 2 of science, that is components of food. We already have completed the first chapter, that is food. Where does it come from? So now we'll start with a new chapter. I hope that you all are watching the videos because as first chapter and second chapter they both are related. They both are of food. So what you can do is that you have to as the chapters are in parts, so you can parts means the topics. Okay, so you have to watch the video first, then you have to read your textbook also thoroughly, and if you are having any doubts you can note it down in your notebooks, and then you can ask me whenever we are having online classes, so that your doubts will also be clear and you will understand it also, and it will be more fun way, right? Now we have already discussed about where we get food from, what are the sources of the foods, then which are the ingredients, okay, which are the materials that has been used for preparing the food items. uh, so that all was about the food, and even the classification of the animals, that what the animals eat. uh, so this is what we learned in our first chapter. Now in the second chapter which we are starting, that is component of the food, you watch this video, and then it is topic wise, and then you have to also read the textbook also. You have to when one topics get over, you have to read it. You have to underline the points which you have not understood, and after that we'll be having an online class. You can ask the questions, okay, then we'll solve all your doubts. So watch this video, watch the video properly, okay. Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to start with a new chapter, that is chapter 2, components of food. We know that each food item is usually made up of one or more ingredients, which we either get it from the plants or from the animals. These ingredients, they contain some of the components that are needed by our body. So these components are called as the nutrients. Now we know that each of our ingredients that are helpful in making the food items. Okay, now these ingredients, they contain some of the components that are called as the nutrients. The major nutrients in our food are named as carbohydrates, proteins, fats, then vitamins and minerals. In addition, food also contains dietary fibers and water, which are also needed by our body. Now we are going to study each of these nutrients in detail, from where do we get and what are the benefits of this nutrient to our body. Now we can see here that the energy, that the carbohydrates, they are the energy giving substances, means we get the energy from the carbohydrates. The sugar and the starch are the carbohydrates, and the sugar that include the sucrose, portable sugar, glucose, and starches we get from the grains, peas, potato, corn, etc. Now the fats. Now fats, they also gives us the much more energy as compared to the same amount of carbohydrates. Then we are having two types of the fats, that is animal fats and the vegetable oils, which we get it from the seeds, that are called as the oil seeds. The animal fats we get from the butter, ghee, lard or tallow, and the vegetable oils we get from soya beans, sunflower seeds, corn and peanut. Now the people use it interchangeably, that is animal fats and then the vegetable oils. Now we can see that at room temperature, the animal fats, they are solid in state, and the vegetable oils are in liquid state. Now about the proteins. There are many chemical substances in our body like the enzymes and the hormones. Now these are needed for carrying out the various body processes. Now we know that the food containing the proteins are often called as bodybuilding foods. As we can see that some of the people who are going in the gym, they say that they want to build the muscles or they want to gain some weight, so they will say that they require more protein in their food, which means that it is a bodybuilding food. It helps in the growth and repairs of the muscles and tissues. Okay, these are needed. So these proteins are needed for various body processes, and they are even called as important components in all the substances. They are also important for making of the bones, muscles, skin, cartilage and blood. Now good sources means from where do we get the proteins? That is milk, egg, seafood and even the beans. So these are the sources of the proteins, through sources of food through which we get the proteins. Now about the vitamins. Vitamins, they help in protecting our body from the disease or our body against the diseases. Their vitamins are of different kinds known by the different names. You must have heard about the vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D, even there are vitamin E and K. Okay, so those we can see here, there is vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D, and vitamin E and K is also there, which I have not mentioned here. There is also a group of vitamins that is called the vitamin B complex. Okay, we have heard about vitamin B1, vitamin B12. Those are important, and our body needs all these types of the vitamins in the smaller quantity. Yes, and they perform different functions. Okay, this three vitamins, they perform the different functions. That is vitamin A, that helps in maintaining the healthiness of our eyes and the skin. Then vitamin C, they helps in protection from the diseases. Then the vitamin D, which helps our body to use the calcium from the bones and the teeth. Okay, they are important in the growth and maintenance of the teeth and the bones. Even they are produced, means vitamin D we get it from the sunlight. It helps in obtaining the calciums and similar minerals from the food. So these vitamins are very important for our body. Now there are some sources of vitamin A from where we get, that is the milk, fish oil, mango, then carrot. That is the sources of vitamin A. Then sources of vitamin B we can get from the liver. Then vitamin C we get from the citrus food like oranges, tomatoes, guavas, lemon, amla. Then some of the sources of the vitamin D we get from milk, butter, egg, fish. So here are the common good sources of the vitamins of the food, that from where we get the vitamins, that is milk, egg, fish, sunlight, then the green leafy vegetables and the fruits. Minerals, they are required in small quantities, that is required in a small quantities in our body, but they are very important for the proper growth and maintenance of our body. And we can say that it helps in various processes such as the digestions and also in the nervous system. It helps in digestion and nervous system, like the involuntary and voluntary activities. Involuntary means the beating of our heart, the circulation of the blood, that is involuntary movement. And voluntary means as moving of our hands, walking, running, that are the voluntary activities. And this are the minerals. We can say that the iodine, I2 means the iodine, it is the structure of iodine. Then Ca means it is calcium. Then the iron. Okay, Fe means the iron. These are the minerals that are required for making the body structures. So that body structure includes the teeth, blood, bones, skin, hair and muscles. So for this, the minerals are very much important for our body. Then we can say that iron is important part of the blood, and we can obtain the iron from green leafy vegetables, lentils, bones, fruits such as the apple and watermelon. Then even the calcium, which is important for the teeth and the bones, and it is obtained from milk and eggs. Then we can say that the iodine, okay, it is needed for making of the thyroid hormones, which again is needed for carrying out some of the chemical processes in our body. So where do we get this iodine from? Where do we get this iodine mineral from? That is iodized salt, that is we use, that is the Tata salt at our home. Okay, we get the proper amount of iodine. So there the salt must be consumed in a proper amount, nor less nor more. Then we get it from the milk, then ginger, green leafy vegetables, fish, and some of the seafood. Now beside this all nutrients, our body that needs the dietary fibers and water. Dietary fibers are also known as the roughage. Roughage is mainly provided by the plant products in our food. Okay, that is we can get from the food grains, whole grains, pulses, potatoes, fresh fruits, then vegetables. They are the main sources of the roughage. Now roughage, they do not provide any nutrients to our body, but it is important component of our food. Means how it helps in the removal of waste materials from the body in the form of the stool. So these dietary fibers are very important in the functioning of the digestive system and for removing of the waste materials through the out of the body. Then about the next is the water. Now water, it is essential for maintaining temperature of our body. It also helps in removing of excess temperature, and here we can see but it helps our body to absorb all the nutrition from the food. Okay, it helps in absorbing all the nutrients from the food, and it also helps for maintaining the body temperature. Okay, when we are doing exercise, we sweat a lot, so that the water comes out from our body through the sweat. It also helps in removing of excess temperature. Excess temperature is also removed through the sweat. Then it also helps in throwing out some of the waste product from our body as the urine and the sweat. Normally we get most of the body or most of the water that our body needs from the liquid we drink. That is, see, you can see here, that is we get the water from the water itself, then tea, coffee, soft drinks, and in addition we add water to most of the cooked food. Then water also helps in conversion of food into the energy. Okay, so that is the major role of water for conversion of the food into the water. Okay, there is also an activity you can do, that you can take a tomato or you can take a fruit like lemon, then you can find out whether this food items contain the water in it. So what you can do, you can cut it into small pieces, and then you can see that whether your hands get wet while doing so. So we see that many of the food materials themselves, they contain water. Now to some extent our body needs are met by this water. Now apart from this, we also add water while cooking most of the food items. Water is very important for our body, as most of our body is made up of the water. So we should drink plenty of water during the day time. Okay.